And that website is also under construction, but it'll be up fully running really soon. And also, we are moving into a new building for Music Trinity at the end of the month, and our grand opening will be in September. It'll be in September. It's going to be a huge event. You're going to hear it on the radio. You might see some TV commercials. We don't know yet. We're looking at some stuff. But we're really excited about it, man. We're pumped.
You're going to be in Montgomery?
In Montgomery.
I'm
Montgomery, Alabama. Yeah, man, it's going to be big. We got to see you that day. It's going to be huge.
I'm going to be there. So one last point that I had was with accompanying. So we musicians are supposed to accompany soloists, the choir, and all this stuff. We're supposed to play over them.
Right.
So I wanted to see what you had to say about that issue.
Well, that's a very big problem. Musicians being too loud is a really big problem. And what I think it comes from miscommunication. Musicians not understanding the vocals, what the vocals are, and the vocals not understanding where the musicians are. And then a lot of our black churches not having the proper sound man we truly need to help us do what we got to do. So, but that happens, you know. But as far as musicians accompanying the singers or the soloists, what we have to do is go back to the basics and keep it simple. It's just like you were saying earlier with our younger generation coming up, and they cold-blooded, but they playing everywhere. It is a such thing called overplaying. You can very much and very easily overplay. It takes a lot of discipline to play in the pocket. And so some singers I've seen Kim Burrell tell a musician to stop playing. Like, she hit him with that's on YouTube right now. I've seen some great singers look at a musician and be like, I'm good. To me, that's an open rebuke. And so I've been in situations where even a bishop looked at me and was like, to me, that's bad. Like, my heart drops when that happens. So I try to keep wisdom and making sure that if I can't hear them, I'm too loud. I need to calm down.
That's exactly what my teacher told me.
If I can't, you're right. And that works. There's a theory that works. If I can't hear them, I'm way too loud. I need to calm down. So I make sure I'm up under them. If you got bandmates following you, make sure that the band is up under you. And a lot of people don't seem to implement this rule. If the music director is low, the whole band need to be under the MD. Whether that MD is on the drums, on the bass, lead, whatever that MD may be. It's not always keys or organ that's the MD. Sometimes the MD ain't even playing at all. And I've seen those situations. And that's something I really want to get into. But
you can get into it if you want.
I want to do that one day. I want to be that MD that's just sitting right there while the band doing their thing. But Aaron Lindsay does it, so that's one of my mentors, man. I love him. Terrence Ruffin, another one of my mentors. Yeah, man, a big time guys. I love them, man. I study them, I really do, and I watch how when Aaron comes down when he plays, the rest of the band is under the MD. If you can't hear your MD, and this goes for the rest of the band, if you can't hear your MD, as far as him or she playing, you're too loud. And the MD knows if they can't hear the singer, they're too loud. So if you use that theory, the entire band will be like this up under the singer at all times. And that's just discipline.
That's exactly what my teacher told me to do. But some while playing with the young people that's my age, and they are loud. Yeah. They sometimes get mad at me because I can't hear what the singer is singing because they too loud. Right. Now I'm coming way down.
Now I run into a lot of that on the road. True enough, whether I'm serving for Meadows, I'm serving for my Bishop Keith Moore, I'm serving for anybody. I come across that a lot while we're traveling. Don't have that problem at home, but while we're out, I have the issue. But sometimes those situations, especially when you're the MD in that moment. They kind of cause you to take a twist that you don't really want to take. Sometimes you have to be a little bit of a jerk. You know, it just comes with the territory. Sometimes you can tell the drummer, man, bring it down, and he just don't want to listen. It's been situations where I had to tell the drummer, I had to tell a keyboard player before, an organist I had to tell before, a bassist. I had to tell them, just stop playing. Don't worry about it. I can handle it. But this is the thing. As the MD traveling with the guest psalmist or the guest pastor or whatever, you have to be prepared to do that. Because if you're working with a group of guys that just don't listen, then that creates an even bigger problem for you. So not only, because what's happening is you all are supposed to be creating the sound that makes preaching easier for them, or makes singing easier for her, because we're supposed to be the portal to God deliver to them. So if we're having trouble and we're supposed to be the portal, the message that God's trying to send through heaven can't get to them properly because we're having an issue over here. So the first thing we need to do is make sure we kill the issue. So if the drum is the issue, you tell them to calm down a little bit. If you don't want to listen, I can do without drums today. If the organist don't want to listen, hey bro, I don't really have to have an organ. I'm good. You know, you hate to do that, but
I had to do that.
you know, and trying to be nice guy, everybody don't respect the nice guy. And so sometimes it causes us to have to step on a few toes every now and again, but it's worth it when you can look at that leader and that leader is getting exactly what they need, because now they can hear better. It's not a lot of chaos in the music pit. Or the singer can flow easier because even with just the piano or just strings, she can lead the people in the worship properly instead of having a full band behind her that don't know what they're doing.
So one of my pet peeves that I have is with when I'm playing soft music or preacher chords, because I like when just the preacher and I just play on organ.
Yeah.
Like we compliment each other. Sometimes it's good to have a band if they know, like you going from the 3, 4 and stuff like that.
Right.
But when the bass comes in and I'm playing the pedals at the same time, it's like a clash and it sounds horrible out there.
Yeah. That's the key of the number system. Like we use the number system just like you just mentioned. We use it. It's a lifestyle for us. So it's like a lot of times like we operate that way too, especially when I'm playing for Pastor Meadows a lot. So I may be on the organ accompanying him in a big way before he really gets into what God's got him doing in that moment. And so when the bass drops in, I come off my foot pedals. Now, I only drop my foot pedals back in if the bass player get lost. And then at that point, if I have to tell him don't worry about it for a moment, I can tell him that and then come back to him. Because one thing I realized is even when you're dealing with people that don't want to listen, they're still souls. Because at the end of the day, they didn't have to be in that service. They could have been at the 50-50. Or they could have been at somebody's club, or at the house getting high, or somewhere drunk. So, and those just scenarios I'm just throwing out there. But at the end of the day, you don't want to hurt the soul of that person. So I still, even when I have to tell them to stop, I still try to include them in some kind of way. I'm never nasty about it. I still try to include them some kind of way. So when we get to a part where we're driving or whatever, then I'll be like, you got it? Let's go. Then you can come back in with me, and then you can be a part. And so that keeps them from being bitter and sour about you telling them to stop playing. Because then they'll be looking at you like, what, bro? So by the time you get into that groove, you can tell them, all right. So you rocking with them, and I'll do that. I do that a lot. I got a lot of body movement. So a lot of people know me by my head gestures and the way my body operates when I play. So when I'm bringing them back in and they feeling that groove is going to be locked. So by the time they lock that groove, we ride. So by the time we done playing, they like, oh man, it was cool playing with you. I was cool playing with you too. I've never scald them or make them feel any less of what they really are, because they're still a soul.
Mm-hmm.
So even though they weren't cutting it at first, they got into that groove and it started to rock.
You go back after saying and say, "Man, ain't mean no harm."
Yeah. Even if you gotta apologize, apologize and explain why you did what you had to do in that moment. Because at the end of the day, they are souls, but the pressure still falls on you. So when you riding back to wherever y'all coming from, your pastor gonna be looking at you like, what happened? So, the singer gonna be looking at you like, what went on today, bro? What was going on? And I never want to be in a position or put them in a position where they have to ask me what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if I got to stop everything going on so me and them can connect properly, then I try to bring everybody back as smoothly as possible.
Okay.
So it's not an issue.
Okay, this is the last one I got. Then we finished.
Okay.
Okay. So when I first started playing, I didn't. It was 4 years ago. I started playing the organ.
Yeah.
And I got into it, and I had a lot of people to help me. But then, now when I go places, and I have the older musicians there, and before I get there, I say, "Can I play?" And they all nice. And when I get finished playing, they get mean to me.
That happens.
No? Like, I ain't do nothing to you.
That's expected because you have and I've gotten that too. I got that too. Sometimes the funny part is I still get that. So it's nothing against you as a person, but it's really against it could be on the strength of I was only trying to be nice because I thought I was helping you out. And so you sit down and like, okay, now here's something you can help me with, but I'm not gonna ask you.
Mm-hmm.
But because I've been in situations where I've walked up to other guys that was dope. I mean, cold-blooded when I first started playing, and they would do this number to me, or it was this one particular guy. I can't call his name, but he was cold-blooded, man. He was one of the guys I looked up to in that season, and he was instructed to teach me some songs for a concert situation. And instead of teaching me what he does, he taught me something different. So the chords he was showing me wasn't the chords that he played, but it was the chords that could match the song. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, in my research, I was the kind of dude, I was grimy then. I was crazy hungry. Like, yo, I gotta get it now. What I gotta do? So my ear told me that everything I'm playing is wrong. Nothing he showed me is right. And so I stayed up for 3 days, like literally. I was literally up for 72 hours, like for real. And in those moments, I stumbled upon the chords I was looking for. And I told God from that point on, I'm not asking nobody for nothing else. If you don't show me, I won't know. And when he started showing me stuff and I started doing research on different chords and what they were, God started showing me placements. And then I promised him that I would share it.
You shared it today with us.
I refuse to be selfish, man. I will not be selfish. The more you give, the more you receive. So I refuse to be selfish. That's why we teach.
So I want to thank you for coming out here.
Man, thank you for having me, man. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
So could you play a shout for us and get us out of here?
Yeah, let's do it. You got something over there?
They got a click track right
Oh man, we about to get it on.
Let me see real quick. All right, here you go.
You got it, bro. You got
Stop
it.
that camera.